IVM.
Close your eyes for a moment and imagine. What would you be doing today had it not been for your day-to-day responsibilities of meeting work deadlines and making sure your family is financially secured? Would you have been a footballer, kicking the ball around on those grassy grounds? Or would you have been an artist, sitting near a window overlooking the hills as you paint away? Maybe you crave to be a photographer. But here you are, framing a picture of the life you wish you had. But this can still be a reality. करो पूरे अपने इरादे, अपनों से किए सभी वादे. SBI Life अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए. To know more about our insurance plans with wealth creation, log on to www.sbilife.co.in. IRDAI registration number 111.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Namaste, Thursday evening, Cock and Bull. You will be watched by you in 2023 on the 15th of Jan, which is a Tuesday. So don't start punching your friend nearby and say, what the hell's going on? It is Thursday right now. But awkward thing that happened to me today, awkward things happen all the time. And it's happened a few times. Somebody asked me, what do you do? That's awkward on many levels. But I've realized that if you're in our kind of business, this is a very difficult thing to answer. You start feeling like a fraud when you think about what you're saying. As the words come out, you're like, oh, I'm doing podcasts and I've got this one show that nobody watches. And it just sounds wrong. And that's when I really wish, why didn't I become an investment banker? Why wasn't I not in Goldman Sachs? Why didn't I just not have a conventional, regular career? So that I could have this conversation with peace. You know, it's always a problem when people ask you the question. For the last 20 years, I don't know what to say. So I make up stories. I'm a sailor. I have a rich father. I don't do anything. You know, silly things like that, which is somewhat correct. But the point of the matter is, what do you say when you're in our business? So let's find out.
If you're a cricket fan, check out Edges and Sledges, India's favorite cricket podcast.
The podcast focuses on Indian cricket, the IPL, and has a ton of banter both on and off the field.
We talk about the week's biggest cricket stories with current and ex-international cricketers, coaches, or sometimes just between us.
And it's hosted by me, DJ.
Me, Varun.
And me, Ashwin.
New episodes release every week.
You can catch us on the IVM Podcast's website, app,
or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast.
We'll talk to three. Two have come. One hasn't turned up yet because we don't know what he does. Abijit is here with a lovely story about medicine and the medical practice and what happens behind closed doors. His documentary will reveal all. I won't tell everything. Let's see if he wants to. And Silverie also, because I think we're all somewhat in the same line. And it's a little tough to answer the question, what do you do if someone doesn't know who the hell you are? Punit Pania is missing. Will join us. We don't know exactly what happened to him. All I know is the truck hit him, and
he's trying to find out the answer to the question. Like, what do you do? Yeah.
He's gone to the same doctor as you, so I don't know if we'll ever see him again. Yeah,
he's gonna die.
So
what
do
you usually say, though, Cyrus? What do you usually say?
If someone doesn't know you at all, I really, I lie. But while I'm lying, if I try to say what I really do, it just sounds like either pompous or really shallow or really stupid. So I've stopped trying. It's like, I can't say, I got some...
That's because you have self-hate. I mean, you probably have some self-hate, which I also have, and that's why we feel very shy about... I come from a middle-class background
where basically people are educated. So, deep down, I am a failure. So when they remind me of that, I go back to my family, and I'm the least educated. Frankly speaking, I am a failure. So how do I then lie about failure and say, podcast, and the Ratan Tata of podcast, huge name,
So do you say podcaster? Do you say comedian? Do you say host, television
you
personality?
Can't say comedian. If you just say the word comedian in India, it sounds ridiculous. With young people, it sounds great. Okay, Abijit Ganguly, comedian. He sounds like a trendy guy. But talking to a Mr. Sharma, who's like, beta, what do you do? And he says, comedian. Abijit, he'll choke you.
I honestly say comedy. I do comedy writing. I honestly say comedy
writing. Because the writing is the emphasis.
But I don't like. And if they fetch further, then धीरे धीरे reveal करके अच्छा I'm a stand-up comic करके ऐसे आता है.
And then the inevitable Abhijit jokes now will happen. That's the other problem.
I never heard Abhijit Ganguly, young comedian ever, and I've known him for 7 years now.
Yeah, and
really?
Nice camera. Yeah.
Hi, Punit, can you please rotate your phone device?
Punit has entered the fray like Aap in Punjab. He's just come and taken over.
I tried everything, but
वो आपको screen rotation on करना पड़ेगा उसके लिए आपको.
अरे.
Sorry.
Punit, it feels very nice to make, that right after making fun of my age and everything, you are doing a very uncle thing.
Oh, what perfect
like universe getting back.
And StreamYard is not exactly mainstream or hip or cool.
Punit, foreigners watching the show will wonder if you are really Indian. No? My lighting is horrible. You can't get your tech right from the beginning. It just doesn't look correct. Yeah.
Also, Punit, don't do this while speaking. ऐसे नीचे ही रहने दो, because that 1 second के लिए जहाँ आया था ना, it was like Darth Vader was trying to talk to us through some other dimension.
How does it sound, Antariksh? Does it sound all right? Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
It sounds like.
Are you sure it's connected? Are you sure the mic is connected?
Yeah.
What is this in the
That's the mic. That's the mic. But it's
ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very unique podcast. The first 15 minutes are dedicated into what's wrong with Punit's setup. All right? Because we like to keep it real.
Can you stop getting me every time? The fourth person always has some network issues. Last time you were seeing up Shreyas Manohar's crotch, and now there's
it'll be the Ganguly files. Yeah. All your shows start with the same issue, just different guest every single time.
Isn't that part of his act? Shreyas Manohar showing people his crotch.
That's this finish. That's the final happy ending. That's how it ends the show.
It took approximately 2 minutes for this show to get into something cancelable.
Okay, let's steer clear of this topic.
No, wait.
Cyrus survived Women's Day, so there's hope.
You have no idea, Punit. You've been on some bad ones. There've been also other bad ones, because me and Silverie are on a roll. You don't realize just how we've dug a hole deeper and deeper. Sexism, casteism, communalism, that's easy now. That's just a walk on the park. That happens every day. Please, any comments? Please let us know what you think about this setup so far. We've spent about 7 minutes. It's been wonderful. Punit's voice is clear, says Manoj R.
As long as Manoj, we can hear
Himisha's back. Himisha's back. Himisha, we miss you. Huh? You're the only female, the token female who listens to the show. Never leave us. Always be there. Please.
Don't call it a token female.
But there's only one. We had one more, but she's disappeared. So we had two, and that's about it. Okay, this sounds again.
We had my mother sometimes, but she also stopped watching the show.
Stop. if you're going to get personal, I'd rather talk about Abijit's injury. Hey, just show your hand now to Punit.
Man, fascinating as hell.
I don't know how far he wants to.
But I feel very stupid about this, because the weird part is every time now the injury is looking more, and like I feel like, as I was just saying before, so I feel like that Aam Aadmi Party female, after some time, like she had one bandage, then she got then in the next pic her whole face is covered. So for some reason, instead of getting better, it's just looking like more bandaged up. But in my defense, I just got to know yesterday that I had hairline fracture, like 2 hairline fractures. The doctor just told me that from the, by the way, same X-ray. Jo pehle
can we rewind?
Like he had new information.
Can we rewind? Because kitna 10 din ho gaya na, at least 1 week.
It's been a week. It's been a week plus.
But isn't that malpractice? If he missed your,
let him set it up. For those who've not followed the
US थोड़ी है कि ऐसे US थोड़ी है कि
I know, but
फाइल करूंगा या कुछ भी.
क्या कर सकता हूँ यार?
ट्विटर पे थोड़ा सा रेज किया कि this is just horrible treatment. उसमें भी 50 डॉक्टर आके गाली देके चले गए कि how can you generalize all doctor? अरे यार, आदमी को अभी बुरा treatment
मिला है. But on this show you should.
Yeah, I got to know yesterday that I had 2 hairline fractures 8 days back.
Punit. Yeah. Punit, are you there?
Yeah, he's there. He's sounding sexy as hell.
He can't hear us. Punit.
He can't hear us.
Punit,
if you were there, react to Abhijit's story. He had the doctor first told him ligament tear, and he walked around the streets of Mumbai with no problem at all. And actually, 2 weeks later, the doctor says he made a mistake. It was actually not 1, but 2 hairline fractures.
Yeah.
And Punit's reaction
And he even said, I was looking for major things. We like to focus on major things, but it seems, and that was, I was fortunate.
Check.
What is happening?
No, this is where my career started, Abhijit. We used to do shows like this. In the middle of ladies and gentlemen, Cyrus Brocha, then the guy will do the sound check. So you come in and say, hi guys, and the guy will come take the mic, 1 minute, chuck, tuck, tuck, tuck. And you're just standing there. As you can see, Punit is taking us back. Nostalgia. It's like karma coming back to bite him. The moment with that young remark, it looks like that young remark is exposed.
Shreyas Manohar all over again. This is like if Shreyas Manohar was in Kandivali instead of Goa, this would have been the case.
No, I think Punit was mimicking a phone with his hands.
Punit hasn't muted.
pretending to call you. He just
Yeah,
put his hands like that.
because he keeps saying check. Producer has just muted him. You and me just
Check. Silverie.
Man,
Chalo.
I will get shit for this, man.
Of
Okay,
course
why
you
is
will.
Punit's voice not fine?
Who
Will be
will
a
give
whole
you
thing.
the people in the chat love it. They're all saying Puneet should do the show like this. The whole
He's
show.
having a teleprompter moment.
We are seeing whole of Punit Pania's hairline, everything, which area the hair is going, which is still intact and everything. Very
I
close.
feel that was
How about
unnecessarily
now?
personal.
Yes, we can hear you. Hi,
Punit-
Punit. Can you hear us?
Oh,
Done.
Yes.
Finally.
oh,
Let's start this show again from the top. Okay.
Jesus exists. Wow.
Okay, Himal has hit the ball out of the park. He's saying Puneet is doing Man Ki Baat.
Teleprompter
moment.
moment.
Yeah.
Abhijit was telling us about his harrowing experiences.
But
with
I
his
think I've said
doctors.
it 3 times already. So I think
You have.
I'm not surprised that the day all the comics
Hey,
started playing
Abhijit,
football.
what is the attitude here? You
I
go to the
knew
fourth
it.
take. One more time.
I'm sorry, sir. But yes, basically the doctor got to know without of an X-ray, जो एक हफ्ता पहले ही हुआ था. And by the way, I was fortunate yesterday when we again went to Nanavati. I'm never going there. I've heard of, I'm never. But
You can't diss Nanavati. They're a title sponsor.
Okay.
Are they?
Shit.
Not really.
Yeah.
Which hospital will sponsor our
Who
show?
sponsors our podcasting? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so we went there and this was my second appointment over there after a week's time. It was a follow-up thing, and he couldn't find our X-ray. Like the X-ray, he was like, I gave it to you, and we were like, no, but you had it, you had kept it. And then
That's a doctor you can trust.
Yeah.
तेरे पास है, मेरे पास है. Hey, किसके पास
By the
है?
way, the doctor did not even remember anything about me. Like he's like, and so I had to tell him, मैं आया था एक हफ्ते पहले. Remember आपने बोला था, you cracked this joke.
He didn't
And by
ask
the way,
you. Abhijit, he didn't ask you the big question. What do you do?
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Guys?
Yeah,
You come
he asked me. He asked me,
क्या बोला
and
तूने?
that was the thing. Like a week back, when I had gone for him for the first appointment, we had a very nice conversation. He seemed like a very funny guy, amazing and all. So I really liked him. And he even
The
said
first
this.
date syndrome.
So he told me he said that what do you have any busy weekend and all? And I like, yeah, I'm traveling. And like, what are you traveling? You're a writer, no? And then I had to tell him that no, I'm a stand-up comic. I'm performing shows and all. I was like,
I'm a comedic writer.
I'll watch your videos. Did he say I'll watch your
Come on
videos?
time, Puri. Just come on time. Because we've gone through all this. How awkward it is to say comedy or comedian, फिर writer भी डालना
I
पड़ेगा
was
उसमें.
there.
फिर writer पे emphasize कर लो. And that's why he got the
there.
conversation.
never be the 8th act of an open mic and cracking the venue jokes. No, come on time and then do the venue jokes. Don't be like
I was
come after
there.
an hour and then do the venue.
I was referring to your statement about a comedic writer.
Oh,
Oh, you were
Now
there?
you're being the asshole host who's been around for 10 years.
oh, this was
and
a
you shit on the
callback,
newcomers.
Cyrus. This was a callback.
Yeah,
yaar.
it's a callback.
Alzheimer's. It was 3 minutes ago, yaar. 3 minutes have passed. Who can remember? Sorry.
But we don't know what you were able to hear us or not. In
Boss.
Cyrus's defense.
Puneet,
Yeah.
you were like Doordarshan for us because you were doing all kinds of things with your face and fingers and all that, boss. We were getting worried.
Pane, do you know how weird it is? I was in the middle of my, heart-shattering.
I know. And I'm standing up in the greatest
In the
story
middle
of
of it,
India.
Check.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, you're like, check, sound check. दिल की बात कर रहा है यार.
You can't beat those moments,
Bichara,
man.
yeah, Abhijit is dying, dude, here with his hand and all. And this guy like,
Heart-
can you guys hear me?
Heart shattering, yes.
Yeah.
You how many cracks do you have now? 2, 3.
So no, though basically then he was
Voice
not able to
cracks, you
place the
mean, huh?
fracture. So
I get it. Well
told-
done, huh?
He said, okay, you go to the imaging department and ask them to get the X-ray report. And also he was saying that, oh, you must be the last appointment. That's why I did not make my reports in your thing. I'm like, बहुत अच्छी बात है. You did not make reports.
What a
So
fantastic
Nidhi-
philosophy. Agar tu last day, you're not important. See, you have to understand what they're trying to say.
So
Never be
Nidhi
last.
runs over to the department, gets the X-ray report, and there it is written 2 hairline fractures. And he reads it. It seems like you have 2 hairline. Wait a second, I'll go to the imaging department again and consult. So he comes back. He's like, yeah, it seems like you have 2 hairline fractures. Actually, I was just checking for the major things and not the minor ones. So
Hey.
it got.
Abhijit, just think about it this way. This wasn't the worst situation, bad as it is. Imagine worse situations like a guy makes a mistake whether you're pregnant or not, or whether you have AIDS or not. I mean, that would be really, there are some really bad ones out there.
Hey,
Yeah, but then
Ganguly,
I
are
got
you
a lot
sure he got the same X-ray as yours? Like, are you sure it's your X-ray looking
No, it's my X-ray.
Yeah.
Abhijit Ganguly सब
Okay.
कुch लिखा हुआ है यार, and like वो पूरा वो था.
Is it possible he kind of diagnosed you falsely on purpose?
Or maybe he saw the wrong
What?
hand.
What will he get
No,
out of
right
it?
So
hand
basically,
instead
like-
of the left hand.
Doctors
Yeah,
and
but
hospitals
X-ray.
have like have like some targets that they have to meet, right?
One sec. Panya's walked off again.
Panya's gone.
Yeah,
Okay, wow.
I don't know, man. This story is
One
really
sec,
not pleasing
Abhijit, one sec.
Panya.
Don't tell the story again now. Huh? This is it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if,
no,
he,
no, no.
if he goes
No
on with
more.
this problem, please ask him to watch
Really-
the episode at leisure later. Yeah, sorry. Please go on.
Yeah, but I don't know what he did, why he did, and what the reasons behind. But he was
Bro.
feeling very sheepishly. He was saying that no, sometimes we just focus on the major things and
Wow.
and all that. And
Wow,
Silverie,
dude.
Silverie, that's not good
Yeah.
enough. If it's your mom or your kid or something, and you'd have been livid, yeah. I mean, he looks like a healthy young man, so we don't take it so seriously. What is an old person? Trust me.
see if you
My dad is quite unwell right now. He had he had a UTI and it's like a whole thing, and he got like major fever. He had 104 fever for like multiple days. It was like very dangerous for a while. So we were like almost so we had taken him to the hospital last like 2 weeks back. We had taken him to the hospital, and the doctor had come out with saying, okay, this is the problem, and just give this one antibiotic and he'll be fine in the next week or so. That did not happen. His condition got even worse, and like way worse. Then we talked to like other family doctors who we know, like our family, like my mother is a doctor, right? So she has a lot of doctor friends. So she talked to them. They both of them stay in Delhi, and they told us, okay, no, the doctor that gave this diagnosis is wrong. Do not go back to that doctor. And if you're going to the hospital, at least do not go to that doctor and get admitted for sure. And so my mother took their advice. We gave the two new antibiotics that those two doctors said that we should start on, and now my dad is feeling better. But these doctors, I feel sometimes are like they want to give you wrong diagnosis.
It's a proper crime.
Yeah,
Elderly
it should be.
person. Again with Abhijit, it's a
I've overheard in boarding area flight, two doctors बात कर रहे हैं मेरे पीछे, और मतलब I'm on the other side, like they have seats facing this side, seats facing that side, and two doctors are talking to each other. One of them is, यार bypass तो recommend करना ही पड़ेगा ना, bypass नहीं recommend करेंगे तो hospital का पैसा कहाँ से आएगा, bypass तो देना ही पड़ेगा. I'm just like getting nervous कि just for targets.
Shit, are you talking about me? Is that what
and I'm thinking, can they be more corrupt than comedy? This is ridiculous.
How did my hand injury become a heart bypass problem? I don't understand.
This was in a flight boarding area. It was like flight area. So they're just two doctors there. And weird thing is, like, dude, if you can't rant out anything, like I put it out on social Twitter page, this happened with me and everything. Dude, so many people, like doctors, on behalf of doctors, they're taking offense that how can you generalize like this for doctors?
We're not generalizing, but there are
not all
doctors,
men
yeah.
वाला behavior क्यों कर रहे हो यार?
Exactly.
हाँ, मतलब
Yeah.
अरे किसी का खराब experience है तो वो vent तो कर ही सकता है ना थोड़ा सा, मतलब
Yeah,
और कुछ तो कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ.
It's like saying Putin is aggressive, so all Russians are aggressive. Oh, wait a minute. Punit, listen. Punit, one sec.
Medicines.
I just want to interrupt you quickly because I don't want this to happen on the podcast going in the future. What I'm saying is, if one of you log out or tech issue and then you come in, Silverie was telling a slightly heartfelt story. Okay, and me and Abhijit were not sure about where it was going because his dad was not well, etc., etc. So that part we were actually well behaved. I smirked in the middle because he came online in the middle of the poignant story. But at point I got distracted by Puneet coming in with his hand.
Gone again.
There you go.
What is happening?
Again, I'm saying, forgive us.
I think
if you're telling a
Cyrus,
really emotional story. Forgive us, okay, if this
just
happens.
hangs around for the setup and just to screw with us.
Sorry,
The
brother.
moment we have the final moral of the story going, is like fuck off. He just
Check.
In Parsi Nataks,
Yeah.
they have this one guy who comes in, the one in Nataks, maybe not just Parsi Nataks, they have this thing where one guy comes in as a one line. He's a one line walk on, makes you laugh, but it's like a segue and he goes off. He just takes a line. So Puneet is like that. He comes, he gets a good
he's
laugh,
like-
and off he goes.
And he has the nerve to have filter coffee in the middle of all this while we are all fretting about his network. You are having
He's
filter coffee.
unbelievably calm.
Pania, like,
It is filter coffee, but somehow it says
Your
the browser
contribution to the
keeps-
podcast is filter coffee. 20 minutes later. That's what we got.
and why is the lighting
my
now changing in your
contribution is-
room?
Because now I'm using the inbuilt webcam because the browser keeps saying StreamYard has lost connection to your webcam. Because StreamYard sucks. That's my only conclusion.
No!
Yeah,
They are
sure.
our
The StreamYard
sponsor.
sucks. The three of us are on StreamYard.
Yeah.
And yes,
Yes.
3
because
and
your
900,
thing is not
and
working.
900 other episodes.
Yeah, 900 other episodes, really.
Dude, don't
Wow,
tell
man.
me, Pania, that you made the filter coffee once, like the first.
In the middle of my dad dying story?
Yeah, like
What?
Silverie, I
Yes.
don't want to say it But I'm telling you, you were telling us the story. We were not
What
sure
the
where
hell,
the story was going. Both of us were well behaved. And he came in and did some Odyssey recital for 1 minute to tell us he was there, having no idea where the conversation had gone. So,
Panya's level of
There
no
are
fucks
few-
given is just exceeded everything. Like just in the middle of all
Putin
this
only.
going and
Putin
having-
Pania only.
Yeah.
Pakka Putin Pania.
ruthless comedian.
I'm
Yeah.
calm. It's so rare to be calm that people distrust you. Ki, why is he not jumping up and down with anxiety like the rest of us? That's what is wrong.
Pania is the Sadguru of comments.
He's a pacifist. He's a true pacifist. Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
Sadhguru mat bolo.
The thing is that
Public
you're a
bolta
true
hai ki-
leftist. I think the East is wasted. You're a true left because you keep leaving.
You
So
keep
we want you
lefting.
to
You
Stay,
keep
yeah,
leaving.
lefting from the show.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we cut his story in the middle. So now you follow the advice of your pals in Delhi, and he's been treated properly.
By
Yeah.
the way, you know what,
He's-
Antariksh, if I
Yeah.
can say this, I genuinely feel this, and I mean, I might be wrong but this has happened by my experience 3-4 times. So again, don't
Yeah.
not all me. But
Okay.
Bombay doctors ना थोड़े से ज़्यादा मेरे को
तू
मतलब
communal-
trust नहीं हो रहा as compared to
Regionalist.
Delhi doctors and
Freaking
everything. Like,
regionalist. That's all we didn't have on the show. Thank you, Abhijit.
Oh,
We've
come
completed the
on.
set.
And I have a
Everything
theory.
is there.
I have a theory.
Let's
I have a
say
You're gonna
theory.
get
I have a
tweets.
theory.
Everything
Today
is
you're gonna
there
get
now.
tweets.
You had to
Thank
go
you,
there.
Abhijit. We bow to you.
You
Mumbai
had
doctors
just
suck.
because they
So
don't say
this from the-
benchot in the
It from Gurgaon is
diagnosis.
telling us the Mumbai doctors
Yeah.
are the bad ones.
Yeah.
Delhi में सब कुछ
Yeah.
होता है नहीं.
Dude,
Yes,
guys,
because-
I have a theory. I have a theory. See,
Wait,
uh,
yeah,
and it's
say
the
your
same
and
theory.
then Read this.
Okay, first, yeah.
YOLO,
first let's
YOLO,
read this.
YOLO Loyo says, my uncle is an MD. He himself
YOLO
says medicine
Loyo.
is one of the most corrupt professions, especially in smaller towns and cities. It's the
But
most
that's the
corrupt.
opposite to what Abhijit is saying in the terms of
No,
Mumbai.
I'm not saying I'm saying Bombay compared to Delhi because Bombay का ना एक तो किराया इतना ज्यादा है सब ना किराया निकालने में ही लगे पड़े हैं. So it's like
हो
like,
सकता है यार.
like so
Like,
many
yeah, that's
like my
possible.
mom had cataract experience, like her
Wow.
doctor was trying to freeze out the second cataract operation
Dr.
also.
Puneet
then
is
and
not
there.
happy with the statement.
And
Let him come
it
in.
is-
Huh?
New video
But-
next month. I can see it. New stand-up video.
See, I-
Delhi doctor.
But I have a
I'll
theory.
tell you-
I have a theory, guys. I have a theory.
Bolo, I'll
and it's
tell you
the
mine
same
then.
theory. And it's the same theory. I just hope I'm able to complete the theory before Pania leaves for the 4th time. But yeah, the theory is that it's the same reason why Bombay में food भी खाना भी थोड़ा सा खराब होता है क्योंकि यार दिल्ली में ना लोग मारने लग जाते हैं अगर खराब होता है कुछ तो लाइक जैसे बॉम्बे में इसीलिए अगर
But now you're espousing the quality of physical culture and aggression. You understand, Silverie? He's promoting
Yeah.
aggression also now and
I'm
saying
not
that you know
promoting.
that
I'm saying,
he's
Yeah.
missing.
but the stakes are
he's
higher.
missing
The
his Delhi
stakes are
beating.
higher.
Stakes are higher. Bombay doctors are funnier. Yeah.
Yeah,
let Puneet
that,
come in
that also
now.
is true. That also is true, by the way. My doctor, this guy, when I told him I have shows in the weekend, he went like, "Of course you have to do shows, otherwise how will I get my money if you don't earn money?" Which I laughed and because it was so funny. But
Now
after the
it's not
second
so
appointment,
funny.
I'm not. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not so
He's
funny
like, dude, he
anymore.
actually just wanted your money, man. He was actually
And
concerned.
look at it this way.
He wasn't just
You said
joking.
you have 2 shows on the weekend and he made sure there's 2 fractures also. We can charge
Yeah.
double immediately. Unbelievable.
But वो तो report में ही आ गया ना वो तो report में ही आ गया उसके बाद उसको
I've
बोलने
been
के बाद
hearing
तो-
these rants for years, Cyrus. For years, I've been hearing Delhi is better in this, better food, better people, better cricket. But they still keep coming here to earn money. They don't fucking come here. All of
Opportunities
them.
are here.
Silverie,
Oh, but
Silverie, you and I can
yeah.
go now. The 2 boys will take over.
Yeah.
We can take a
These-
break, get some filthy coffee, put your feet up.
These
And
left-
hey,
I just-
Delhi versus
Okay,
Mumbai.
bye, guys. I'm leaving.
These left people keep saying that go back to Pakistan is bad, but then keep saying go back to Delhi all the time. This is something that is not noticed among all these Bombay leftists. Yes.
No, but isn't that amazing? When you're in Delhi or when you're in your city, you bitch about it and moan about it. Moment you leave your old city, you sort of want to fight for its rights. I think that's a common thing with all of us. You know,
I'll be
hate
honest.
it.
NRI
I will be
syndrome.
honest. I'll
When
be
I go
honest. I
outside,
don't.
I do like it.
First, I want to clear that up. No. I think a lot of things in Bombay are better. It's very good, and Bombay is a lot of things in Bombay are better, and a lot of things in Delhi are better. But yes, food is obviously better in Delhi. And
That's without
now,
doubt.
in my experience, I have like maybe doctors are a little less materialistic in Delhi as well.
No, you need to have more
So, yeah.
fractures and you have to see
Yeah.
a cross current against both these cities for a long period of time to give us data. But I'll say one
Yeah.
thing, Jaga is very important, space. And you guys
Yeah.
have much more space in Delhi. So I think it allows the doctor to have a little more compassion. Because otherwise you come to our doctors and you go at a peak hour, Puneet will testify, so will Silverie. Sometimes 30, 40 guys sitting on each other's laps here, outside in the
Yeah.
waiting room of the clinic of even a successful big name doctor. And you
Yeah.
just feel like a loser when you're there. I hate those places. So everybody is looking
I'm-
sick and tired and sad and
met,
whatever, and you're waiting like victims to meet the great doctor who will then tell you कि it's a ligament tear, and then 2 weeks later say नहीं मैं तो देखा नहीं बराबर, you were the last patient. The lighting
Yeah.
wasn't good.
He said that I
I was
did not
getting late
make
for the
good
punch.
report. So I had to remind him everything that I came. You said this, then I said this, then you said this, because he did not make, like he said that because you were last, I did not make. And he's a reputed doctor. Yeah, Nanavati का मतलब hand doctor मेरे को Azim
Name him,
I'm
man.
saying-
Name him.
तोड़वा दिया.
Name
Give,
a
him
doctor.
give us the name. The people want to
Yes.
know.
I can happily give the doctor's name. Like yeah, Aditya Kaushik.
Oh wow, you said it also. Oh,
Yeah.
Aditya
Bengali.
Kaushik को बदनाम किया तूने.
Bengali
That's
or?
not right.
Aditya
No, I don't
Kaushik is a
know.
Bengali.
नहीं. No,
Kaushik,
I don't know if he's Bengali or not,
I
but
think
I
Kashmiri.
don't. But Kaushik is not Bengali.
Kaushik not Bengali? Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
now we're
but
now we're going
yes.
to get communal. We've done regionalism. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's find out which community or caste or whatever and attack that.
Kaushik.
I'm not saying about the
I was
community.
a Pawai much better fight.
I've met thousands of
Pawai is better,
doctors
Pawai
in my time in healthcare. I've met thousands of doctors across
You
the
married
country,
one.
and they're corrupt. They are corrupt. I've seen doctors taking everything from fruit juice to Thailand trips. Right?
But
And
Pania,
there
you
are
can't say these
incentives.
things in open, yeah. Because I when I put up that tweet and I
Punit-
put up a story, it was a vent thing. So many people, so many replies like, how can you say that about doctors? They helped us in COVID. अरे वो सब
Yeah.
ठीक है, मैं मना थोड़ी कर रहा हूँ, but मेरा
But we
अगर
just
अभी
had a
कटा
guy.
है, तो मैं अपना vent तो कर सकता हूँ थोड़ा सा. मतलब.
But we had a guy.
Punit, my
just
mom is a
now-
doctor. Be careful of what you say, man. It's fine. It's
No, but
fine.
we had a
I'm
guy
joking.
exactly like Silverie, whose family
It's
member is a
zero.
doctor, and said that they only say they are corrupt. So it's
Yeah,
not
they
like
do.
everyone's corrupt.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I think in India, let's face it, there's nothing that's not
And
corrupt.
it's an open secret. All the hospitals, they have targets. The beds can't go
Yeah.
vacant. Right, so it's almost like a scoreboard. No, they say नहीं बहुत खाली है, इसको discharge नहीं करने का. 2-3
But
नली
then
और
it-
डाल दे साले को.
But then it's in Ganguly ji's case, it's a little opposite that happened. Na? They gave a lesser diagnosis, lesser rate, lesser everything, which commercially didn't make
No
sense.
lesser rate. What lesser rate? It was, there
No,
was
for ligament
lesser
tear
rate
it's
or
less.
nothing.
For double fracture it's more.
I don't know if it's the rate तो पहले से ही ले लेता है घंटे का. वो बाद
Sir,
बात ही कहाँ आती
अभी-
है बाद में पेमेंट का.
Maybe
अभी तो
Abhijit
बार
just
बार
bad
जाना पड़ेगा ना.
recognization.
You'll have to get this checked and tied up every week or 2 weeks and all that. You'll have to keep going. Ligament, you just come after 6 to 8 weeks to see if it's healed.
मतलब I guess.
What if next week he develops-
You'll have to do shows every day for the next 7-8
I
days.
think he approached. I think he approached my diagnosis like Pania approached this podcast today. Like,
Yeah.
he just no fucks gave, man.
What do I have to do? Should I jump up and down? Should I look more?
Pania, come to the studio.
You
na.
have to be more acceptable towards Delhi people, Pania. That's what you have to do.
Abhijit, what if next week you go to back to the doctor and he tells you that no, it's not a hairline fracture also, it's something else entirely.
Fool me once, yeah. Fool me
Are you
twice.
not going back to this doctor?
I'm never going back
To
to the
Mr.
doctor.
Kaushik.
Yeah.
To
After
Mr. Kaushik.
naming him in a podcast, obviously I'm not bloody going back to. the
Yeah, I
same
think you
doctor.
should go back. You now have to find out who doesn't like him in the medical fraternity and go to them, who are very happy that you badnamed him on the podcast. So please
Yeah.
send us your name if you're somebody who doesn't.
But in
who are-
general, I'm to never going back to Nanavati only. Now I've heard such horrible things about Nanavati. I'm never going back to Nanavati. Yeah.
We can't cancel all these people. They have to cancel us. That's how it works. You're doing the wrong thing. That's what's going on.
You know, before they cancel you, you cancel them.
You guys are ahead of the game, bro.
This is the Delhi approach. We
Delhi
cancel
approach,
Delhi
yeah.
hospital, yeah. Let's cancel
But
people.
Puni, you didn't get that bit, huh? Where he's missing the Delhi violence. That was beautifully put. Very subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
He's actually
Yeah,
missing
yeah.
it. It's in the DNA.
लोग मारते
People
हैं.
are too
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
here. Huh.
Also, I have a theory. People are nicer in like people in Bombay are nicer to strangers and everything. Everybody is nicer to strangers than in Delhi.
No.
That's not necessarily a good thing. Like I
Yeah, true.
I think.
Especially if uncle is patting your head while talking to you or pulling your cheek, sometimes they get too
Okay,
much.
you're taking it a very different again
I've been
cancelable
touched too
terrain.
much by men. I don't know why. I've always felt uncomfortable. But I find
Yeah.
Delhi is, in fact, with strangers, very good here. People always
Yeah.
talk. Nobody ignores you. In Mumbai, a lot of people ignore you. You even ask the time and they just don't look away. My wife the other day was walking the road. I asked her the time, looked away. So I'm saying that doesn't happen in Delhi. I've always experienced that with strangers. They
Cyrus,
chat.
I beg to differ. That's the upper middle class over here. The working class population
True.
is much nicer in
और
Bombay.
तू working
They-
class
I have
के
never
साथ
seen-
क्या करता है? You hang out with the working class?
देख,
Abhijit?
अभी
What is this
बात तो
nonsense?
होता ही रहता है सबके सभी मतलब be it in terms of rickshaw drivers or everybody is much nicer in Bombay than क्योंकि दिल्ली में थोड़ा सा मतलब वो उनको समझ में आ गया कि ये upper middle class हरामी है तो उनका
On cue. Story number 6, we lose.
यार आधा setup पे क्यों चला जाता है यार? This is
He's
just-
given us filter coffee and a couple of laughs, and he's just walked
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Boss.
Oh, he's still here. We can still hear
and
him.
he's always like
He's
this.
just
What
his
is
video
with
went.
the fourth person always like this in this position and you're just looking up at them like
I'm waiting for Punit to pounce like the predator, and every time he's about to, he disappears.
I was trying to see if my webcam works.
Right in the middle of the story. Again, right?
Can we tell you, 30 minutes into the program, we are all convinced nothing
We are
works.
still figuring out Puneet's
Yeah, there's no.
tech.
The experiment is failed.
Silverie, can we
Yeah.
just move on to news articles? No,
Yeah,
I'm
can we
just,
just
I'm not
can
even
we just take a break and come back with news?
I have,
Because we have like
I
2
have,
minutes.
I have one question before the break.
Please.
After your hand heals, will you go back to the football or not?
I'm never going back to football. It's a very injury prone sport. I have to start something else. I want to
Yes.
plan. I want to start playing squash, but the problem is every squash court here has like membership and all, and 16 lakh costs and everything. So that's the only reason I love squash as a sport. But I have to find something else. Football
But you
is
can
just
do
too injury
reciprocal.
prone.
Do you have a club membership in Delhi?
डीडीए स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स वो ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं यहाँ पे डीडीए स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स दिल्ली में सस्ता सुंदर टिकाऊ ब्लडी बेस्ट 50 रुपए में स्क्वॉश खेलते हो यार वहाँ पे आई मीन एटलीस्ट 5
Per
साल
day?
पहले तो और like for every visit yeah you just give 50 rupees and you can play as much
You just come with me. You can play. I won't even charge you.
where
What is the problem?
What?
Boss, South Bombay में सब कुछ हो सकता है. But first you say Bombay is better than Delhi 3 times in 4 languages. Okay.
that's what Bombay people always say कि Bombay has so much infrastructure आजा 40 किलोमीटर दूर अरे चले बॉम्बे हैज वेरी गुड चिकन रोल्स कम हियर टू दिस प्लेस अरे मैं 25 किलोमीटर दूर जो चिकन रोल खाने के लिए और 40 किलोमीटर दूर आई मीन थोड़ा पास में भी तो बट नो द फैक्ट दैट यू आर ऑफरिंग दैट इनवाइट आई शुड बी नाइस एनफ एंड दैट्स वेरी स्वीट बट यस let's take this off
See, Mumbaikars, we promise, but we don't really want you to come. You have to understand the whole conversation. We are not generous. There North India is much more generous. They will be very happy to see you. Come, Abhijit, play squash. It'll all be good that way. So there, I have to accept defeat there completely, because if you really turn up, my family members all look at each other. Ye kaun hai? What's going on? Who's this guy?
we have seen him in quarter of a screen we have
Yeah.
this like, can you go a little far right now
तेरी ID card ये है ना? This heels you're screwed. You are not the guy. Show this everywhere you go. Falconry.
Yeah.
So before we go into a break, somebody's already mentioned 30 minutes. We only had personal conversation and tech issues.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, correct. That's all you had.
Topic की पहले
Can we
break आ
quickly
गया.
do one issue at least and let's just do one line from each person so that we don't feel shitty about ourselves?
But
Okay.
let's first line go to Punit for safety. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Before he shuts off.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if we want to talk about something quickly, let's just tease a topic and then come back with that topic. The tease is we're gonna talk about Punjab elections. AAP won by a landslide, and that was pretty impressive for AAP.
We're telling Amit this. We should not give any fresh news off the ground,
How
because
is this-
our news is already stale. So only a person who's a complete moron is going to be like, what are you saying? Up on
Yeah,
Punjab.
that's true.
And what kind of a
That's why-
tease was this? I think you just
Yeah, I
said it
know.
out.
I just said it.
was hardly
Yeah.
a tease.
I was just thinking, what
at
else I
all.
say? What happened in
It's a-
Punjab? We'll find out after this
Abhijit,
break.
it's a tease for Congress. That's what he's trying to
Yeah,
say.
correct.
He's being mean.
It's very Congress.
Yeah, I thought Antariksh really does not get the concept of tease. I'll tease you a little bit.
By the way, Punit has not spoken and he may disappear. So let
Yeah.
Punit speak, please. Punit bhai.
Last year, when I was on my first and last Punjab,
You're going
tour,
back 1 year for this conversation now.
there was an offer to get Bhagwat Mann on my Beyond the Laugh series on my channel.
You're joking.
And I was like, yeah.
Huh.
Someone
You
I
said no
knew
to
knew
that?
him. I didn't say no. I said I'm not sure how comfortable it will be. And now he's going to
Why?
be probably CM. And
But why would it
Yes.
not be comfortable?
You went for Jasprit instead, huh? You thought same demographic. You went for Jasprit instead.
Ganguly is on a very tight leash now. Huh? Silverie, he's made inroads into all areas of danger for us.
Yeah.
Bolo sir, problem kya tha? Why didn't you put him on the show?
the series was still new at that time, and I thought that no, he does completely Punjabi comedy. And
So you
I
look down
did
on
not
him.
see
Let's get to the point. You look down on his art.
No, no. No, he's not a Delhi comic. I don't look down on him. It's just that
Today I'm genuinely laughing. This is so much fun. A little bit of Bolo Ganguly, ek haath to bacha hai.
I'm gonna be the more magnanimous person and let's just let it be. Somebody has to rise above all this pettiness. and
for a
somebody has to
change.
stand
Also,
and
you're a
be like,
hybrid now, boss,
Yeah,
because you're coming in Mumbai and you were born in Delhi, sort of thing. So you are not.
they
too
are all
shitty.
coming
You're like
in
Shah Rukh.
Mumbai.
I'm Bengali. I'm also Bengali. Yeah.
Let's not get into that. Then you're just a citizen of the world.
Then my wife's Gujarati. So yeah. So that's also.
तेरे को Padma Shri चाहिए अभी for all this collective work. But I still want to
Sometimes-
know. So you look down on him. You didn't think he was of standard. What is it?
I didn't look down on it. I just thought
Awkward.
that we'll not be able to connect.
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward. Yeah, may not be able to connect language and otherwise.
By the way, Puneet,
Too late now.
we've had Kajol on and all that, and a couple of other girls and all, huh? And the names that keep propping up, Puneet. We want Puneet. We want
No,
to be on
that's
Puneet's show.
not. Kajol again clarified again yesterday that she does not have a problem with Puneet.
Kajol has what?
She does not have a problem with Puneet.
Abhijit, there are 3 prominent entrepreneur comedians. Okay, number 1 Puneet, and number 2 Akash, and number 3 Silverie as well. Although now he's very busy with us, so it's less. These 3 have to answer the female question. Are women well represented? Now, this is not a comedy question; it's a question of representation. And this question we have put forward, and we have got some very honest answers. And I have protected Puneet and Akash as much as I could, but Silverie was hammered by her yesterday. I mean, it was very close to like a Bombay Delhi moment.
Kajol does not like Puneet.
No,
she likes
Kajol
Puneet.
says she likes Puneet. But now I
She has a
think
problem
Silverie
with
is a pet hate. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But it's also the
Alright.
shirt he was wearing.
Yeah, that was it.
50%,
I don't have a problem.
She does not. Exactly. No problem with Puneet, man. That's what I'm saying. He's cool.
Dude, I'm telling you, all
Let's
our
go to the
viewers are
break.
you.
other
I think this is a good
Thank
point to
you.
go to the break. This is time for the
Thank
break. We haven't done a
Thank
break
you.
for a long time.
Yes. Okay.
My
Break,
Kajol,
break.
God.
did you by any chance catch what Cyrus said that he will ask of other female podcasters or anybody coming up in the last podcast with Shreyas? It was something very weird. He said, if you remember Silverie, do you care to mention that?
I don't remember right now what he said.
When
I
Naveen was
very
showing
late.
his thigh, and then
the
somebody
leg
else
raise.
was,
No,
yeah,
yes.
something-
The
Silverie,
willing-
that day
the
when Kajol
willingness-
was on, Silverie was
willingness.
only going to ask a ma'am,
Go
coffee,
wrong.
tea, AC come karo. Those are the questions. He was not going anywhere else. I actually saw a little fear in Silverie's eyes, so we changed the topic. Although Kajol was not being rude or mean or anything, but for some reason,
Yeah.
why did you panic?
I don't know. I felt, I don't know. I started feeling defensive for some reason. I don't know.
Dude, you realize when Pania goes,
And Silverie hasn't done a show for 2 months.
That last time I went away on purpose. Okay, that last one time I did it on purpose. But
dude, when you leave, by the way, and then you go ha 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 ha, that the symbol in your thing also goes like this. So it
Yeah.
actually looks like it's laughing. Like
And
you have
Puneet, I'm
ha
all-
ha, and that is also
Puneet,
going
I'm all for voice modulation, but you talk and go up and down. It sounds like a harmonium, being played at different parts, and the sound we can hear a little bit, then it goes further away, then it comes back. Is it possible to keep you in front of the mic? Okay, whatever you want. Just move the mic off. Hello, sound check.
Wow, this suddenly felt like I just got very close to Puneet.
The show goes back to where it started. Sound check. 1,
Yeah.
2, 1, 2.
By the way, have we just skipped the break or are we doing
Can we just go to the
at
break,
all?
Cyrus? We need to go to the
Now,
break.
audience is screaming, break,
Yeah.
shut the show. Vinay, let's break. Okay, we're taking a break. Puri, make sure everything's okay. In 30 seconds, we're back. Here's our lovely break.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IBM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says is Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Kajol, Ayushi and Antariksh discuss the grave subject of Putin threatening to take nuclear action and Indian students being stuck in Ukraine. On The Habit Coach, Ashton is joined by Neha Sahai, celebrity nutritionist and wellness consultant. They take a deep dive into various issues people face when it comes to nutrition. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik speaks to Vishal Menon, assistant editor at Film Companion. They trace the evolution of Malayalam cinema. On Big Talk About Tiny Humans, Devi Shobha and Meghna share pro tips to help your child beat exam stress. And on Hansvani, here's the story of Lafantus. It hilariously tells us about the colorful characters we encounter in all areas of life. So, on a personal note, I wanted to let you all know that this week marks the 7th anniversary since I started IBM. I'm eternally grateful to the team we have here, especially Kavita Rajwade and Tejas Sringarpure, who have been here since the beginning. They've seen the struggles, our eventual acquisition by Pratilipi, and our continued struggles to make podcasting a large and thriving part of the media industry. We have the best hosts in the world, and I have to say that I'm so glad and so grateful that they have chosen to work with us. And finally, I'd like to say thank you to you, the millions of folks who have heard or watched our content. All I can say is, you ain't seen nothing yet. I hope you join us as we continue this journey. In the meanwhile, do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platform you're listening to. You can also check us out on YouTube. To get a list of all of our channels, you can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, where you can go to all the channels. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, Bank of Baroda, Max Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.
But I was actually looking out at the sponsor list, by the way, कि नानावती तो नहीं है.
अब तो नहीं है, था. Abhijit, gone.
We had to
Gone
remove
like
during
this.
just before the break. They
very,
did put out.
very tongue-in-cheek of Amit Doshi, Amit to say this that you ain't seen anything yet, because yes, it's an audio podcast, so mostly people have not. Yeah,
That's true. And secondly, luckily our standards are very low, so he is right. We can only go up from here. Yeah. Firstly, one guest every time we lose one guest. That's very minimal. What are you doing, Silverie? You're all effing around on this show.
I realized it was suddenly too dark for me.
You know, nothing irritates Amit more than technical changes in between. You know that. This just drives him nuts.
Lights are fine. It's
not
just
Cyrus, I think Silverie is very safe with respect to what all has gone with Puneet. I think nobody's going to even notice Silverie.
Today, Puneet is man of the match. We're all safe. We can do what we want from here. I thought you want to argue about Jackal. He's saying Jackal. Is it Jackal or Jackal? Let's go to Puneet. Puneet, is it Jackal or Jackal?
No, it depends on what you're saying. I don't know Jack all. Like, I don't know Jack shit.
That's good work, attorney at law.
Yeah. If it's like otherwise Jackal, otherwise the animal is Jackal.
I was worried you're going to jerk all, which is a totally different thing.
Have you read that book by Frederick Forsyth, Day of Jackal? That's a
Day of the Jackal. Yeah, that's it.
Day of the Jackal.
I'll tell you who the killer is.
We have read it. There's no like who the killer is. It's just a assassin trying to kill.
Assassin, correct. Stop showing off, you bloody Bengali. Stop showing off that you remember your books better than us. How dare you be so mean? Age. Your fracture will heal now.
Have you seen the Delhi stand-up comedy special, Cyrus? It's called Jackal the Mahdi.
I think at the end of the show, he's calling up Dr. Kaushik and congratulating him.
Yeah. Pania, I think Pania is related to Dr. Aditya Kaushik. Yeah.
Chinmay Singh Puneet's laugh is like laugh tracks in TV shows. It is slightly. He's got that like.
Someone else has said that Puneet's laugh is like Arnab's laugh when Yogi Adityanath lifted him.
Well, that's because
Baba Ramdev. Sorry, Adityanath. I said, oh shit, Baba Ramdev.
Adolf Hitler has said it. Wow.
They have similar choices in clothes, so I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
The look is very different.
That's true.
Look you can't mistake.
Yeah.
Well, his laugh is very distinct because at least somebody has to laugh in his shows, no? So yeah.
Yeah. Somebody.
Number of times I started an applause break in Ganguly's show from the back as producer to save his ass. He's lost count.
What? You okay, next time. Okay, this is getting
Don't stop.
It's getting personal. What? Suddenly got personal.
It's lovely. You're changing the dynamic of our show. I love it. Our show needs to evolve.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Wow,
it's a roast. It's basically a roast. Go for it.
No, Puneet. Abhijit starts laughter in your shows.
It's very juvenile to be going ahead.
In a way, it's Puneet's shows because he's the producer and it's an all-male cast.
Yeah, correct. So Puneet, you're starting laughter in your own shows.
This is a part of the job. So many of our shows.
Correct. We want that. Correct.
I was there in Kamra shoot. No, then he put on.
Don't say such mean things. Yes, Puneet. Next thing I'll have to do is rely on other comedians' interview to get my career going.
Oh, burn! I'm enjoying the show a lot. Boys, don't stop.
Do you mean the series on which you're not part of yet?
And by the way, Pania will always get the comedians he disses the most. He will say this person sucks, and then he will get this comedian because they have got million views. So yeah.
So Kajal,
that's why you're working with Munawar. Oh, sorry, I get it. Sorry, I'm joking.
Now that's why he's regretting he didn't get Bhagwat Mann, by the way. Now that he is here.
But now the worry is when he goes to perform in Chandigarh, if Bhagwat Mann comes there and remembers him, then what? Bro, be careful.
Nobody remembers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Now this is a Delhi versus Mumbai battle is on. Yeah.
How long do you be nice? One time you have to give it back.
At least he tried to be magnanimous for a while. I like the attempt.
The three blows, the three unreciprocated, these Bombay people, they don't get
He's
it.
born and bred in Delhi. He's more aggressive by nature. He's explained to you he restrained himself because of the Mumbai touch. But then because you wouldn't stop, he decided I can't take enough and he had enough and he started. But would you guys want to continue? We don't mind. Me and Silverie are having a great time. Silverie is already doing something else.
Especially Delhi guy trying to diss you in English is hilarious. So I'm all for it.
Frederick Forsyth himself.
Yeah.
What is it? Day of the Jackal. He remembers the story.
No, Jackal the Mahdi.
The elitist mentality is why you sell no tickets. Yes.
Wow.
Go hitting a Sindhi about commerce where it hurts the most. Horrible.
it's-
Horrible.
Why-
Very
Wait.
good. Very good.
Are you talking to me? Because I also sell no tickets.
In Delhi, Cyrus, if you pass 10th standard in English, you're elitist.
Yeah.
Well, yours, that's true. Okay.
What in Delhi if you pass 10th
shouldn't-
standard in English?
you
Let him finish the
shouldn't have
joke, yeah,
revealed
guys.
that. You shouldn't have revealed that.
In Delhi, just say the joke. I didn't hear it.
I think he
In
said
Delhi,
in
if
Delhi.
you pass 10th standard,
I don't know. He's
Punit,
just-
finish the joke.
I said you
Don't-
shouldn't have admitted that you're doing it for 12 years. It's embarrassing now.
Okay.
I said about you, by the way.
Yeah.
6 years.
Wow, you guys are talking to each other, right?
I love the fact that Pania cracks his own jokes and then starts laughing. Like, who needs an audience when you have that covered?
I like the
Okay,
comment
guys,
from
let's move
somebody
on.
inside who said,
I
"Ticket
think-
pe mat
let's
jao."
just-
I think before we say things that cannot be taken back, let's move on.
And we were worried about Kajal getting angry with the other comedians. Now it looks like we're losing our panels every time.
what is all this drama
Yeah,
between our
We
panelists?
got more girls watching.
Yeah.
If you guys abuse each other, more women watch. That increases the
Yes.
market for us. Please
First time we get a new
continue.
woman.
Come on, keep going.
I
keep
tried
going.
to be a nice guy and I was like, let's move on and everything. But like 3-4, unreciprocated eventually. As I said,
And you abused Delhi, so I understand your pain.
I
Because
tried
deep
to
down
be a
you-
nice guy. One more stand-up special from Delhi. I tried to be a nice guy.
Okay,
Every-
Punit's firing on.
every time I'm trying to move on, Yeah,
Guys, can we please get into a topic? We are
and
getting
there's a
endless
very
messages.
obvious one out there, but I just have to refrain from cracking that.
No, don't restrain. Get it out of your system, yeah. It's
I mean, now that
bad,
you
yeah.
said it,
Don't
now that you said it, you
influence
have to say it. Yeah.
You must.
Just because you earn your money from Mumbai doesn't mean that you hold back. Go for it.
Somebody has to be the bigger guy, as I said before also, but then I could not. But yeah,
Abhijit,
that's-
last. Then we'll stop. He's got topics. We're running out
no,
of time. Come
it's-
fast.
No, that's not
तू
nice.
मत बोल ये धमकी देने के बाद करना पड़ेगा यार.
अरे
What is
चलो
this?
ना टॉपिक को एक तो टॉपिक बात करते हैं
हाँ,
यार. There is
please,
audience waiting
please.
for it. Yes.
प्रार्थना करते हैं हम. Let's get to a topic.
Wait, they want to know the winner, and the winner of the roast is after the show's over.
So Aap won Punjab. Yeah, they were the winners.
At least some
so-
comedian won today.
No. What we are learning is that at the end of the day, whether you all are fighting or not, he and Silverie and I should not do comedy. That's for sure. I like how Silverie still asking, "Can we please?" Yeah, Silverie,
Yeah, well,
are you upset
sir.
again?
no, I'm not at all.
I'm
Okay.
getting stares from Nidhi, by the way. Nidhi is looking at me angrily. Like,
Oh,
why are
shit.
you fighting?
That's not Nidhi. That's
Uh,
Punit. Sorry.
Fortunately, it does not look anything like Punit.
Okay. Just a joke. Just guys, calm down. Let's go to the topics.
Relax,
Topics.
Okay. We teased this topic before the break. AAP has won Punjab elections. The other elections like UP and Andhra, BJP have retained their power there. But AAP landslide victory have taken over from Congress to get Punjab for the first time ever. This is their second state after Delhi, which is again pretty cool for a party which was just founded.
I think the bigger news is that a comedian has become a chief minister, guys. I think that's the bigger news.
Well, you're a professional comedian in that sense, but there are many
Yeah.
comedians who are chief ministers and
Yeah, but-
leaders in the world. So,
Zelensky.
I mean, yeah.
And Zelensky,
No, not
and
just
yeah,
those
it's
are
a,
professionals. Those are professionals. I'm saying non-professionals.
yeah, but
they're
I'm
very
talk-
funny.
yeah, but professional comedians become adding, all those things to their career.
A
thing. It's
professional
amazing.
comedian who could have been part of the roster of Punit Pania playing tonight somewhere in a street in Mumbai, but unfortunately made the wrong turn and now has to handle Punjab for the next 35 years, bichara.
Yeah.
But any comments about AAP? His point is, Abhijit, come on, tell us. You're a Delhi guy at the end of the day, at least you were. It started as a great party. It was a party everybody, middle class India almost took to it and said, this is the party for us. And then it sort of disappeared and became Delhi centric. You think there's a chance that with the spread to Punjab, some input in Goa, that they can actually become a national party and be that front to challenge BJP at some
See,
point?
at least it's good for Aam Aadmi Party that they have power somewhere else, because Delhi, obviously, you are kind of handicapped with a lot of things going into the power of government and everything. So you actually, you have the state, but you don't really also. So this is the first time. I mean, this is at least you'll get to see them, work in effect over there. But I've had a lot of hopes before from a lot of people and been disappointed. Then so let's
Like
just see
Punit.
how it goes. Let's just see how it goes.
Punit, he's taking a dig at you.
Yeah, I did not take a day. Cyrus, do you really think right now inciting is required? I think we
No,
crossed
no,
inciting
no.
like 15 minutes back. Now we have one. There's been like Sam Dan Dhan Bed, everything. Like
No,
yeah.
coming back to the Aam Aadmi,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
just thinking.
Pania. I said Sam Dhan Dhan Bed. It was Hindi. I don't know if I did something wrong about that. Yeah.
Oh, Okay, trying to stay with the topic. Guys, we are under a lot of pressure here but this is beautiful. I want to keep the essence of the chemistry that we have. Puneet, coming back to the whole idea, people always thought that KJL will usher in, Anna Hazare, God bless him.
I like right now these awkward moments. Please like this stream if you're
Subscribe to the channel.
They love it. Do you
Yeah.
understand? Keep going.
Please do, yes.
But
Please
did
do,
you ever
guys.
think? Do you ever think he could start like a revolution where suddenly this party gets, once Punjab goes to AAP, then perhaps next time Goa or one of the other states, suddenly they get 5-6 states, then they become a really serious player. So do you think that's possible? Because he did have that appeal.
It's
IIT guy,
possible,
etc.
but it'll take like decades, because every state that you win, you need to have presence in every constituency, and you need to be the biggest gunda there. Let's take it as it is.
Which they are not.
They're not. The biggest gunda wins in this country. That's why it took Janata Party and now BJP these many decades to become this big party, because Congress had everything, and now they made inroads over decades.
They had to recruit the gundas from Congress, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's all gundas. At the local level, you see who wins. No? Like even Lakshmipur.
That's really cynical, no? For educated India who may like the Aam Aadmi Party as an option, as a third or proper option, as a party where they sort of relate to, you don't think there's ever going to be like a movement where a lot of
India has to vote first. No, they go away to Mathiran when it's election day.
Nice.
Especially
how many of them are
Punjab.
there? Yeah, or they go to Shimla if they're in Chandigarh. So they don't vote and
Fair
they
enough.
don't have the numbers. So it'll take a long time, but it's still.
I don't want Abhijit to counter because it always goes in the wrong direction. So we won't be able to stick to AAP.
No, I agree with
as an AAP. Yeah. But if you do want to say anything, Abhijit, otherwise we can go to the next one.
Yeah, next one. All right, let's just go. Next one is Sreesanth announces his retirement from all forms of cheating. Sorry, all forms of cricket. And so yeah, he's retired now. So congrats, guys. I don't know.
He's already been on Big Boss, right? Already been on Big Boss, right?
Yeah. He's been on Jalak on 2-3 things. He's been on a few things.
Baki nahi hai abhi.
No, but I want to just say one thing. You guys are being very mean. Mr. Abijit Ganguly is a cricket sports connoisseur. He was a fantastic outswing bowler. There's no question about that. He was an absolutely God-gifted athlete.
South Africa innings.
There you go.
Oh,
I mean, there you go. You're really, he may have, Bumrah's turned up, but he may have been the bowler of the generation up to the birth of Bumrah. For me. And then, I feel really sad. They used to do this to us also at MTV. People would try to bribe us to come and work for Channel V and all that. And often I did do it. I just don't care. I just said, what the hell? Yeah, paisa ke liye karega. Why not?
Okay.
I wonder what would happen to comedians if I do a honey trap. A hot chick comes, 5-star hotel, then suddenly, would you be able to say this joke for me? And even though you're left, the joke is very like pro-right and you put it in because she was really hot. Would you do it? Would you compromise Abhijit Ganguly?
I don't even know where this is going. Honey trap.
I'm just trying to stop you fighting because after the point, we're going to get fired by other people saying you.
Yeah, stop fighting. Okay, in slight wo, I mean, just I think like last weekend only, we were part of this bunch of 5-6 comics also, and we were like all having drinking and everything, and we were dissing each other. Somebody for Bombay and Delhi. So this is more of a continuation of that. This is not real fight.
We are not fighting, Cyrus. If we can't take a joke. If we can't take a joke.
What?
He's saying we can't take a joke. This is not fighting.
If we can't take a joke, then we got nothing to stand on.
This is casual banter which is just continued from Lakshmi Bar to today's podcast. I'm just even giving out
Lakshmi Bar, Mumbai, where you drink now.
Let
me just point out.
Yeah.
And will you be congratulating Bhagwat? Will you send him a message or something, Punit? You think he'll remember you? He will remember you.
We didn't approach him only because I said maybe next time when I'm here. So, but we must congratulate him anyway.
You didn't interact with him on the phone or a text?
No. My friend was going to do it for me.
I asked Bhagwat Mann a very tough question once in a lovely professional university thing was going. I had a show over there, and before me the speaker was Bhagwat Mann trying to say something and all. And I asked him, and this was like a week after Umar Khalid, there was a shooting attempt at Umar Khalid. So I asked him about it. Why haven't you guys said anything? Because people on social media, we guys like say something and we get big bats for it. So why hasn't anybody? And he started just saying anything like Modi ji kab achhe din aane, like that's the whole comedy routine. No, when in doubt, go for rhymes. So something. So he just
gali mein shor hai.
Yeah.
Government shor hai. I have a prepared rhyme. I think it's a fabulous. It's a great tool you've given us today. Keep the rhyme prepared. Just pin the name in the middle. The rhyme format A, B, C, D, whatever is there ready.
I think elections are won on the basis of who comes up with better rhymes. Like half
Yeah,
of this
yeah.
was अच्छे
Abki
दिन
baar.
आने वाले or something.
Yeah.
Ab ki baar Modi
Yeah.
Sarkar and all that. Rhymes work, man. Rhymes work.
What should be the rhyme for our podcast? Hmm? Out of luck, what the fuck?
Well, you came up with it. नीम का पत्ता का. For people who know the second line that has to come, that is hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We get to the AMAs or
shall
one more
we-
topic?
Silverie, can we do all the topics just one line each? Can we try that for a change?
Oh,
all the
oh,
topics
okay.
one line.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
rapid,
cool.
rapid fire.
Let's quickly do this.
Abhijit, let's do it one line.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
So the MCC, which is the
bugger. Yeah. Sorry.
the MCC, which is the body that makes the laws of cricket, have
Melbourne
announced.
Cricket Club. Huh.
Yes, what Cyrus said. Marylebone. What? Marylebone?
जाने दो पोएजी जाने दो आगे
Okay,
जाओ.
okay, okay.
Marlboro,
they have announced
Marlboro Cricket
Marlboro Cricket Club. Okay,
Marlboro
got
Cricket Club.
All right. So the MCC have announced 9 new changes to cricket laws, and some of them are quite interesting. Like you can't use your saliva
Put
to
saliva
polish
on
the
the
ball
ball.
anymore. Your sweat is still fine.
But you can use sweat.
Yeah, sweat is still fine.
You can use your body sweat and you can put saliva. Punit, one line.
I think COVID has taken one more victim. I like the thuk wala thing. Now you can't do it. It's because of COVID,
It's-
I'm
yeah,
sure.
it's like
No, I think it's very important for the cricketer who's least important in the team. It gives him something to do. He's that fielder you throw the ball to and he goes thak. Bowling nahi aata hai, batting nahi aata hai, fielding bhi
Yeah.
barabar nahi aata hai, but he can do the thuk and he can do a lot of acting with the rubbing and
Yeah.
workmanship and all that and then pass the ball. Looks like the mehnat only comes from him. You notice that they always have one guy who actually does the rubbing. It's like
Yeah.
one designated guy always.
Yeah, always. That's the thing, because if multiple people start rubbing, then they rub on the other. I mean, sounds weird, but rub on the other.
everyone's on
hand
the
and
same
all
ball.
that. And
Ball
yeah,
is beach way. Everyone's like, rub karo. Everyone's like starting in a circle.
Oh,
how to
good
rub
point,
in the
Tarun
same ball.
Kaushik. Silverie, Tarun saying, what if he's crying? Can he use tears?
Oh,
That's
he's
a
crying.
great
He
point.
used tears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They can,
And cricket,
they can use sweat.
They can use
Yeah.
sweat. So tears should be allowed. Yeah. Urine? Is urine allowed?
Somewhere there's-
Guys, I don't know.
Why would you piss
I
on
don't
a
know.
ball, bro?
I don't know.
Urine
This
can
is
be allowed.
Liquid, right? That's what. I don't know.
no, but it's uric acid, no? They should
Yeah.
disfigure the ball in some way. You can make it
Oh,
smaller,
wow.
bigger. They don't want the
Oh.
ball.
I didn't
destroyed.
think of that. Wow.
Oh,
See,
wow.
the reason
I'm
we're giving is that.
I'm
That's the reason
impressed.
why peeing is not allowed.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
impressed.
Sandpaper is allowed. Yes, for sure. Sandpaper is allowed. I'm 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be.
Next
Yeah.
topic.
Poor Bangkok.
That's a tongue-in-cheek point. Silverie, you got that.
One more rule from here, which is very interesting. The new rule is the catch rule, the cotton ball rule, which is that
One
once
sec, look at the gutter. We have taken the show too. Gary Pereira is asking rubbing balls. Interesting.
it's the when you get rubbing balls seems interesting. Not okay. When you when someone gets
Shall I do it?
Yes, please.
When the ball is in the air,
Thank you.
normally when it's high in the air, the striker and the non-striker make cross. Then there's an argument about if they cross, then who is on strike when the new batsman comes in.
Yeah.
They're saying forget all that. If the ball goes in the air and there's a catch, whoever was the batsman who got out, he's replaced by the guy who comes in. That's it. No question of running between. And Abhijit and I offline were discussing this in our
Yeah.
gully cricket days. The greatest fun was the cross nahi hua. Fights used to break out
Yeah.
on the streets of Malabar Hill. Gujarati versus Marwari, Parsi versus Punjabi. We used to go berserk. People were like, I mean, our fighting was basically you poke your finger to the chest and might touch, but it was quite bad for the day. Now
Yeah,
in
so
Delhi, let me tell you, Abhijit, when fighting breaks out in a cricket match, Silverie has ruined cricket.
We suddenly changed the game to baseball. So, yeah.
Right, I tried really hard to explain that rule. Okay, moving on to the next topic.
But if you can just talk about that,
Yeah,
talk
about
we
it,
don't
yeah.
have to just cover just say out the news. This is but I think it's a horrible change, man.
Thanks for telling us. We really screwed up this show. This show's our announcements. It's just announcements. Yeah, train is leaving platform 17 in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
Come
but
on,
I
go
think it's a
on.
horrible change, man. Like seriously, why would they want to change this? Why fix something that's not broken?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This
Yeah.
feels like
And a little bit of argument. See, this kind of controversy doesn't hurt so much. It does hurt in the sense that, in a T20 match, you want the better batsman on strike, blah, blah, blah. So those are the reasons I'm thinking they had in mind. But I like what you're saying, the romance of cricket, the idea that it's a possibility, this or that. And we're always worried when the ball is in the air, have they crossed or not,
And
because the team you're supporting, the benefit
Also,
will-
habitually, if batsmen have played that way all their lives, it will be suddenly weird to not keep that in mind, because you have habitually one of the major things was try to cross so that the person.
when you're batting with a tail-ender, I remember when Sreesanth and I were batting for India, I would always tell him, don't cross, because I don't want him to take strike, whatever happened, that kind of situation. Antariksh on a topic
Next one.
marathon.
Marathon. Yes, next
alright.
one.
Next one. This is again very interesting. So you don't think about these things when war breaks out, right? But during the Russia-Ukraine war, it turns out that all our alcohol prices will go up because of that, because of barley costs going up. Basically,
I'm glad you
Ukraine
kept
and
this for
Russia.
the end. It would have been
Yeah.
very painful to begin with this. You would have had trouble getting over this topic. Good, towards the end we kept
Yeah.
it. Yes.
So
Lakshmi bar band ho jayega.
yeah, Russia and Ukraine are basically huge exporters of barley and huge producers of barley in the world. To the extent that Ukraine gave 18% of the barley production in the world in the year 2022 up till now. So that's a very huge chunk. Because of that, the trade channel of barley has been affected due to the war, and because of which all our alcohol
So
prices.
can't they replace barley and alcohol with
No,
something
it's
else?
one of the main key
The
ingredients for
barley
alcohol
product.
is barley.
Let me talk to Punit. Punit is a bootlegger. Let me get the actual truth. Punit, can we use anything else?
Beer gets affected, but then you can always have vodka. Although that's also Russia, but still.
Yeah,
That's
man.
also Russia.
What
Yeah,
a stupid,
that's
what a stupid choice to give us, Punit. Hey, don't worry, you can have
Well,
vodka.
just
Oh, 1
give
minute.
more business to Russia, why don't you?
That's what they're most famous for.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, that was...
अब दिल्ली का हाथ आ गया. चलो, go for it.
इतना मेरे को एजुकेशन एंड ऑल के टॉन्ट्स के बाद तू ये बोला हाँ कि रशिया
You don't know your दारू बेटा.
हाँ
ABCD.
एस्टैब्लिश किया और ये तो मालूम
Hey, this is not part of syllabus in school where alcohol comes from, but largely it is beer. You can go for other stuff.
They were teaching alcohol was a dry day. Now you know our country. You think Ukraine and Russia have dry days? I mean, I wonder if any other country has dry day concept. I think dry day concept
Yeah.
is third world. Why would you have? Because we
Pakistan has dry
celebrate with
days.
alcohol.
All days are dry days.
No, that's all year. That's
Yes,
different.
correct. Sorry.
It's a different concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly we are getting BJP support. They're calling
Yeah.
up with good podcast. Yeah. Pakistan do joke. Yeah, very good. Punit Pania, change man.
Kangna wants
change,
to come
man.
as a guest now.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And you put Yogi and Baba Ramdev. You mistook both of them, but both from the same sort of side.
Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
fine. They were both. But do you think who minds being mistaken for the other? Baba Ramdev minds being mistaken for Yogi, or Yogi minds being mistaken for Baba? Or
Why
is it
would they
fine?
be mistaken? Like the hairstyles and the facial hair could not
I don't
be
know
more
if it ever happens. Like me right now. I haven't been mistaken. I just wrongly said the wrong.
You were
person's
mistaken
name.
for Ranbir Kapoor.
Yeah, it happens.
Yourself.
I get it all the time. I am
Dude,
Ranbir
that
Kapoor.
would be-
There's a
What?
lot of difference between you and Ranbir Kapoor, but two people who are still even farther apart are Baba
Is
Ramdev
Yogi
and
and
Yogi
Baba
Adityanath. So seriously, it's I can't understand how can any person mistake like I said.
No,
बस
just the
नीचे
name,
देखता है
man.
सिर्फ.
Just I was thinking of the Baba only, but
No,
I
but
said the
I
Yogi.
get what he's saying. The basic linen wear is
Yeah, yeah.
somewhat similar. The basic less is more fashion sense जो है वो similar है.
Yeah.
I understand that point a little bit. And then, of course, is stereotyping your Babas and Yogis together. There's a
Yeah.
huge difference between Babas and Yogis.
Are
Let
they,
me tell you.
I'm not aware of this.
I call my son Baba. For example, I never call him Yogi. Unless his name is Yogesh, then that would make sense.
In Bengali, father is called Baba only. So yeah.
See this country? मेरा बेटा सबका father है उधर. You see how
Father
confusing this
Ramdev.
country is? People
Yeah.
can't travel this country in
But
peace.
Father
without
Ramdev तो
vodka
Christian हो
from
गए.
Russia.
वो तो that तो नहीं हो सकता.
Okay, stop. Now stop.
Right.
Okay?
Father
We're
Ramdev.
just going to get
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
open this bloody rabbit hole and we just plunge and I don't know what to do. We
Alright.
need parachutes and seatbelts and things like that.
बीरा का तो इंडियन प्रोड्यूसर ही होगा ना बार्ले का प्रोड्यूसर
Yeah,
बीरा तो
yeah,
इंडिया में ही हो रहा
yeah.
होगा हाँ तो आई डोंट केयर
Yeah, but apparently, so a lot of our Indian local domestic alcohol producers, they use Indian barley for this. But apparently, the rates
Make
of
in
barley
India.
internationally going up will also increase our Indian
So
local
we
barley
can
rates.
make money. We can sell Indian barley to the
Yeah,
rest
yeah.
of the world.
We could to some
Yes.
extent. But
So this
the
war is good
rates
news for
increasing
India.
there will increase rates in India also, because we will be like, it shouldn't be.
What a great
too-
choice of statesmanship to abstain from voting against the Russian invasion.
yeah
Now we are going to all be millionaires.
this was
That's
all for
stroke
make
of
in India
genius.
it was all for make in India purpose guys it was all for
There
Make
you
in
go. Commerce
Yeah.
first. I always believe that. Punit, please
India.
salute.
Capitalism
Yeah. Silverie is alcohol
Alcohol
expert. Okay, and final topic, if you want to discuss one more, final topic is basically Flipkart on Women's Day. No, start putting out these SMSs. Start going to like you know the telemarketing SMSs, right? An SMS of theirs got a lot of flack on social media. Basically, the message was it's a like TM Flipkart is the sender of the message, and it says, "Dear customer, this Women's Day, let's celebrate you. Get kitchen appliances from rupees 299. Shop at Flipkart now." Okay, so it's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, and they have gotten so much
Don't
shit on
laugh.
this on social media. They've apologized also since because it's like the loose assumption is that they're implying that women should be in the kitchen. That stereotype that has
I mean,
existed for years.
that's funny. Come on, guys, that's funny.
Yeah,
at
that
least.
is
we
that's
can
funny
say
for
that,
sure.
that's funny.
But
Yeah.
Flipkart didn't see it as that. No, they saw it as a marketing opportunity.
One
They thought
minute,
this was the way to go about
Aisha, get out of the kitchen. It's very stereotype.
it.
Woman, yeah, all the time cooking and cleaning. Bartan dho! Very sweet that way. Can't hear me, huh, Abhijit? My wife, the burtan will be on my head. My head will be inside the kitchen sink. And you will
Ordered
only
by
see
the
my
same
left leg.
Flipkart discount, by the way.
Yes,
Same
that we will
amount.
get. Yes, that we will get. We will claim that for sure.
Yeah.
But
So-
how do they, these big guys with all the kind of power they have in terms of marketing and sales, and these are huge guys who they hire once you become a Flipkart or whatever. How do they make
Yeah.
a basic mistake? I
That is
understand
a
they're trying to
very-
be funny,
very simple mistake,
and that's a
yeah.
very it's an intelligent sort of trying to be funny and
I'm
dangerous.
not sure they're trying
place
to be
but
funny. It's just that there's so
They're
many
not, they're
offers
not.
going. Yeah, there's so many offers going on. They just outsource it to random agencies who have interns who are depressed and they write anything, and then there are deadlines, and then you get this shit.
Or
on
some
your phone.
guy who wrote it, his girl just left him, so he's very anti-woman for 5 minutes.
But what how are they supposed to feel if okay, India mein chalo 10% woke janta hai who are gonna make noise about this, but 90% messages aake are सच में discount मिल रहा है अगर उनके sales बढ़ गए, so how
Fair
are they gonna approach it next time कि अब करना है कि नहीं करना है, क्योंकि sale तो बढ़े थे काफी, so how is it?
Keep the stereotype, increase the discount. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Keep the
Social
stereotype,
media-
increase the discount. Wow, this is like MBA Gyan. But
Yeah.
remember
So-
last year or the year before that in the
You don't need a
lockdown,
yogi or a baba. You have us.
Yeah, Punit, sorry, you were saying?
the similar thing happened. Similar thing happened in the lockdown, no, when there was an ad by Kent where they were having a roti maker device, and they said that no, your maid comes in and then it is not clean anymore. It's COVID times, hence you should use a machine. And then even that got called out for being classist because
Yeah.
they were implying that the
Insane.
maid will bring in the infection.
Yeah, they know it's the manservant. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Great.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
Please, it's all tongue in cheek. Tongue in cheek. We don't mean
The
anything.
last group, Cyrus, who's not against you right now is men on the
Yes.
internet.
Yes. Labor class men on the internet was our last tribe. What have we done? Flipkart, can you help us? Give them something.
Yes, we are
Some
done with
discount.
topics. All right.
There's a movement, Cyrus, online. There's a movement called MGTOW, men going their own way. And
Oh,
this is
alright.
a group of men, who just has said that the dating game sucks. It's loaded, and we are giving up. We are not chasing women anymore. And then they're working on themselves, and then they share those things. कि आज मैं 4 push-up मारा ऐसा, and they are going their own way.
ये Sigma Male नहीं है क्या?
चार
Is
push-up.
this different from Sigma Male?
Yeah, I think so. So they're going their own way.
Every
not
time I
like anyone
learn
stopping
something
them.
new, like पिछली बार situation relationship बोला था, इस बार ये मेरे को
हाँ.
Sigma Male तक पता था. But ये men going their own way, I don't know if it's a further branch out of Sigma Male or what.
I thought it's more like me trying to find Alibag. Men going their own way. I mean, you got it's so painful getting that one turn.
What does this mean?
under
But
so
men
much
going their
pressure.
own way, like I mean,
Like we don't need
Masturbation.
a life partner.
Masturbation. Masturbation.
We'll go their own way.
yes, Cyrus is
Masturbation,
basically
right, right.
There, feral mind. See how all of us
Jagannath.
have the same lowbrow humor. It all comes together. You can be a cheap comedian. Just stay on
Yes.
our show. Not you
Yes.
guys. I mean, people listening. This guys has been wonderful. The way we traded punches. At the end of the day, you all agree to abuse Flipkart instead. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks,
Yeah.
EMA to
Flipkart,
Silverie. When are you
for
starting
giving us
EMA?
a common enemy and giving us a common.
Let's do it
focal
now,
point.
guys. Yeah. All right. AMS.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored. I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
The first one comes in from Amit Pandya. He says, very interesting comment. He says, at Leelavati Hospital, where my father was hospitalized, a new nurse mistook the moisture-absorbing sachet in an empty bottle as medicine and almost fed my father the silica modules after cutting it. So yeah, people make mistakes also. Hopefully, that was a mistake.
Well, the good news, can I, and don't abuse us in comments, it was a new nurse. Sometimes the nurses are rather, not young.
How does that
So,
help?
I mean, at
us?
least that was going.
Or maybe there were kide makode in the
Cyrus,
dad's
how
stomach,
does it?
and she was like,
it's
okay, I'll help
fine
out.
If a new
Bro.
new nurse is like, how
You
is
clutch
the difference?
straws. You're in hospital, you're in pain, things are not going your way. At least something went your way, visually or whatever. I totally, I'm just trying to look at it from a positive point of view without being sexist
You got that group
and
back.
failing.
The men going. You got that group back suddenly. That group is again in support of Cyrus. Yeah.
She was nursing the wrong
Oh, fellow,
studio.
dude,
Okay.
you were basically doing that to what you were, afraid Pania would do to Silverie. You did that with that guy. That guy's giving a heartfelt story about his father almost being poisoned. Like, at least he got some visual entertainment,
He's
boy.
told the story in the past tense. It's all good now. It didn't happen, right? She didn't actually give it, so it's all good. That's why I took the chance. Thoda sensitive. You Delhi guys, you have to understand. We Mumbai guys are very sensitive. Am I right, Punit? Fair to say?
Yeah, I have a joke where I say that no, women prefer Mumbai to Delhi because Mumbai is safer, and I tell them that's only because our roads are not good. तो हमको लेट हो रहा है काम पे जाने के लिए. You give us better roads, we'll be just as bad as men anywhere in the country. It's just that Delhi has good roads. They have time to do all this bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's true. Delhi has I don't know why you left Delhi, Abhijit. The roads are better, the houses are better, the meat is better, the milk is better.
Sir, as Pania pointed out earlier, career opportunities, sir. So like, yeah, it's where that's how civilization goes. No, everybody always goes towards.
Let
that.
me tell you, in Chandigarh,
Now
if
I'm
you
just
stay in
waiting.
Punjab,
Now I'm
you
just
can become
waiting for
chief
you to get
minister.
me that squash membership. I'm just waiting for
Membership
you.
nahi milega, sir. I have to sign you in and I have to pay for you a small fee.
That's not
But I'll do
happening.
that from the goodness of my heart. But you abuse Puneet for 5 more minutes. I'm just kidding.
Episode
Last
2 of Abhijit Punit Pania would be in Lakshmi Bar. Next
Hey, you guys, you don't understand what you have done. You're screwed up the show because now when y'all are together, everyone in the comment is going to say, when are they going to start fighting? And if you don't say something, we're going to get screwed.
Yeah.
No, we'll
Think
figure
about
something out. We'll figure
next time
something
Promise
थोड़ा
you won't be
next time थोड़ा
friends.
impromptu
Promise.
के जगह लिख के भी लाएंगे अच्छा insults कैसे
Silverie,
underprepared तो ना लगे
Silvery.
quality तो होना चाहिए
Silvery.
at least.
Silverie. Next time they come on, you ask them whatever you want, but they'll just be abusing each other. So it'll be like, you heard about the guy who landed on the moon? Arey,
Yeah.
Delhi guys are all choots. The whole thing will have no connection. No connection.
Yeah.
Chalo,
And-
shall we do the last one?
Yeah, sure. And last one, no, we're just on one. Yeah, there are so many MAs. Karan Sethi asks, does this mean Navjot Singh Sidhu will go back to Kapil Sharma show and cricket commentary / punditry?
Looks like. Or he'll
No.
join some other party. He just,
Switch
like,
parties. Yeah, you just switch parties. You keep going till you come back to the old one.
Yeah, I think
It's all good.
he'll eventually join BJP only.
But here's a story. That whole drama cost everybody in Punjab except
much.
AAP. Because all the old players got screwed because of the
Yep.
stupid soap opera, and Navjot Singh Sidhu was at the center of that. Now, when you
Yep.
look back, the public cannot. People think public are stupid. Public is not really stupid. Public after some time says, "Please, you guys are bakwas," and that's it. So Congress suffered, Amarinder's new party suffered, and BJP suffered.
BJP suffered.
And then
yeah.
quietly, AAP got the benefit. Not quietly, but I mean, he's not quiet.
Yeah.
वो मफला
And
नहीं है
Aminder
आजकल.
lost himself also. Aminder lost himself also.
Yeah. All of Chani also lost, right? That guy.
Yeah.
All of them lost.
So,
And who lost today? Punit or Abijit? Send your comments now. We have 1 minute left in the show.
I love how Cyrus is trying to milk it so badly. Like, he's just not letting it go, bro. He's like milking.
Punit, Abhijit, they're so boring, these podcasts for us. We're doing it every day. Now, today, give us some love, some drama. Silverie's, I've never seen Silverie smile so much. He was being murdered by Kajal the other day. And it was all over the place. And now he's so happy.
And mind
Yes.
you,
That guy
we
got Gali.
managed this like after 15 to 20 minutes of the podcast was lost due to technical issues. Still, we managed. Like, look at the commitment.
वो भी गाली है.
That
I
is-
like your style. That's a
that is-
passive abuse.
Somebody
I like
That
it.
is a common thing about Delhi and Bombay both. Like, we both represent the commitment
Oh.
of both the cities. Yes.
come together in the end.
The real winner is OML.
That's a sad point when the best punch has been from a comment. No, like the best punch. Yeah.
Best punch. The only punches.
Yeah.
Thank God for our audience. Abhijit,
Yeah.
pay attention to the show. Watch it later. Yeah, they're very funny.
Okay.
Does the
So,
audience know what OML
Yeah.
is, by the way?
Yeah, a lot of our audience will know.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
यानी comics ही
We
देख रहे
have to
हैं
explain.
But if those who are wondering, OML is the agency that manages a lot of the biggest comedians in India. Abhijit is one of them. Puneet, are you also OML? You're not OML.
No, Puneet is his own man.
It's part of the secret service that runs the entire world, and part of it is in comedy, of which Abhijit is one part. So
Yes.
I'm very sure Pania has reduced the punch effect a little bit because he was trying to be nice right now. Because uska it's the nicest sentence about OML that Pania has ever said.
Abhijit, I picked it up. My experience eyes, I picked it up. What he was trying to say is he wants to abuse OML even more than he wants to abuse you. That's the difference. His hatred for
it
OML
just
is
sounded nicer because it was in English. That's all.
Oh, क्यों यार? कहो ना प्यार है.
Yeah, wow.
Only money laundering.
Only money laundering. Oh.
Abhi, you're managed by OML, no? Is
Yeah.
it true?
Yeah. I mean, is it true? क्या
True.
ऐसे
Yes.
affair थोड़ी है कोई.
No,
Oh, wow.
for the money laundering.
अफवाहें
For the
फैला रहे हो
money
मेरे बारे
laundering.
में.
Is it true? Like we have heard these rumors about this. Nice.
Silverie, how come you don't have OML?
Man, I'm
Or you
nowhere
also?
close to being big enough, man, for representation.
He has
I
a
don't need
car
representation.
collection. He
Go to
does
the
not
next
need
one.
OML.
But if you're big enough,
Yeah.
why do you need OML?
Yeah, he has a
See,
car
that's the
collection.
funny thing. If they're really good, they should be to help you when you're not big enough. If you're big enough, why do you need them? You just
That's
it
the
doesn't make any
problem
sense.
with agency and management anyway.
Screw
That's
OML. I'll start my own
historical.
OML. Punit, you are now in charge. Okay. Make sure that we have laughter club in the
That's
morning.
already there,
Uske
Cyrus.
baad-
You are late for it. That there's already chalta hai. Like that's all. That's
Oh, it's done
Yeah.
already. Damn it.
Chalta hai.
Chalta hai, acha.
Yeah.
Chalta hai,
Silverie,
chalta
are you with Chalta hai at least?
hai. I've done some shows with them, very less, but it'll
No,
happen. It'll
I'm
happen.
putting him back into depression.
Yeah.
Sorry, Silverie. Let's go back.
Let's
Go
go.
back.
Pania will have to do a chalta hai show right now just to clear the air that we don't hate each other. Like, just to clear that up, we'll have to do at least 3-4 chalta hai shows.
That reminds me, dude. I had to send you the payment from last few shows. Why don't you give me the details?
Oh, that's a.
You, Puneet, how sharam ki baat hai? I can't. You don't pay him, and yet you abuse. I mean, boss, there's ethics. There's got to be some standard. I mean, you owe him money and you're still abusing him. He should be abusing you.
No, he's
I mean,
fair
this
with the
doesn't make
payment.
sense.
That's my bad. I'm not giving the invoice. I'll be there. Let's.
Okay, now
the
stop. Now
credibility
you're
pe nahi
sounding like
jate.
two lovers.
हाँ.
Two lovers. We want you to go back to fighting. Silverie, you have to end the program.
Okay,
Last one.
Yes, quickly.
Last,
So
okay,
three very
yeah.
similar questions. So I will kind of read all three of them. Karan Sethi says, with comedians getting success in politics all across, Zelensky in Ukraine, Beppe Grillo in Italy, and Mann in Punjab, will other comedians also go into politics, and how successful will they be? Also, another one is, do you think politicians will now be kinder to comedians to avoid more people stealing their jobs?
In fact, they'll have a blacklist of comedians they hate growing up, I would think that there'll be a very petty issue about those people you couldn't stand or took away work from you, etc. Pania ji, would you join a party?
No.
Also, one more is for Anup.
Yeah.
From Anup Jepu asks, now that stand-up comedians will be CM, now stand-up comedian will be CM, when will Punit Pania contest elections and become a very big gunda as well?
He's doing push-ups on stage, by the way. Already, he's preparing
Oh
for
wow,
it.
he's preparing, yeah.
No, you have to be cold-hearted to become I don't know about Zelensky and the Italian guy, but in India, to be in politics and to be successful, you have to be cold-hearted. You can't survive.
I'm feeling so relieved that you did not say you have to be a Delhi comic, because I was like expecting it that you will say it. Like I'm like, ये आएगा पक्का बेइज्जती आ रही
I
है
always
Delhi
thought that
कुछ आ रहा है.
one got into politics for the most noble reason of all, which is that girls find you attractive. That's what I thought would be the reason anyone would get into politics. But now, obviously,
Really?
there seems to be other reasons. Punit Pania looks like a politician.
Girls find politicians attractive.
Oh wow, is that
That's what they told me, bro.
Which girl
They
was
told me
this?
you get into politics, you have power, and chicks love you. That's the thing.
I think this just sounds something like only we men will say about girls को ये पसंद है. It just sounds like all those things that we men confidently say that women like this. Yeah, it just sounds like.
For the record, people like who's the Delhi BJP guy? He also is like a Vyangyakar himself, and then that poet who was in AAP and now he's not in AAP. Who is that guy? The poet.
हास्य सम्मेलन वाला.
There are
those are
guys.
artists. Comedian is a little different because you're doing satire on politics, etc., from that point of view.
These
So,
people also
Puneet,
used
if you
to-
come, because your act is very much that, so that would be very interesting if you come and now, after putting your money where your mouth is, like a film critic who becomes a filmmaker. It's like that. Could you do
I
it?
can't even win an election in Ganguly East, Cyrus, because Govinda has 1 year in the past, so you can know the constituency we are a part of. It's hopeless.
What a legacy. Govinda was once the leader of Kandivli.
I had just put out this also on a video only on bloody some reel, but that the fact that these politicians should stop taking up these positions, because every time one politician becomes a CM, somebody is then leading the war against Putin. They put pressure on us. Because our family is looking at us that what are you doing with your life, like bloody writing jokes and everything. So please, already we have a lot of these go-getter personality politicians doing blogs, every podcasts and everything and all that, which is already creating a lot of pressure on us. We like to take our life easy. कि एक joke लिखा फिर 5 दिन सो गए आराम से. So please stop all this beer biceps behavior of
Don't raise the
going
bar.
and achieving the
Don't raise the bar.
please
You're right. You're
don't do all
absolutely right.
this. Yeah,
Zelensky has
politicians should stop being
caused a lot of complexes.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Correct.
Fair enough. It's a very good point for us to end this evening. And there's peace for those listening between Punit and Abijit. There's no hard feelings unless,
I will send the
if they
invoice.
want to say one last word each, I suppose there's no need to stop them.
I
some
love
sort of
Punit. It's okay.
visual
He's
gag,
amazing.
which
But I'm telling you, next episode of this Punit Abijit thing will continue in Lakshmi Bharat. So yeah, next episode is
Bro, Lakshmi
Bharat.
Bar
and this
Pawai,
guy
you said.
Punit.
Lakshmi Bar
Yeah,
Pawai.
Powai, of course.
Lakshmi
only
next.
fans.
Powai.
Lakshmi next
Yeah.
is that veg restaurant.
All are welcome.
Next.
Yeah,
all are
Lakshmi
welcome.
next.
Pure,
Yeah.
Oh
pure
yeah,
veg.
opposite IIT.
And not the ground floor, by the way, the first floor, not the
Oh,
family section. The
expensive
first
wala.
floor.
Oh.
No, the less expensive, cheap wala.
Oh, like oh, cheap wala. Okay.
Punit is 10% equity holder in Lakshmi
In
Bar.
Lakshmi Bar.
Punit, also bring the money, this payment next time.
Yeah.
I'll hawala it to you. Bye.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
You're the people pleaser, right? Or then desperately seeking the one? Oh wait, you're the one who doesn't think they're ever good enough. So much drama. And for what? Is it doing you any good? Listen to me. I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach. Yes, I'm the one who has been dropping all those truth bombs on every episode. Oh no. And it's time you learn to say no to drama. That's also what my podcast is called. And a new episode is out every Monday and Wednesday on the IBM Podcast app, website, as well as all major podcasting platforms.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.